Oh. Yeah, okay. Totally. So, you might be wondering, where the heck are the mistakes? Welcome back, everyone, by the way. You might be wondering where the mistakes are. There was literally none. That was my first try. Okay, well, anyway, that's... did I really not do that one already? I could have sworn I did. To be honest, I have no idea what I presented already in that last episode. I don't remember anything. I could have sworn I tried that one already. I did the freaking... you saw it already, but it's Simon's device and the rope. Where it's like, oh, 3 pulleys, 2 ropes, blah, blah, blah. Well, there's only 2 pulleys right there. I thought I tried it on that, and then I thought I tried it on the rope too. But apparently, I guess I didn't try it on the rope. So, you know, whatever. I was mistaken. I did it wrong. Oh, no. How terrible. This recreation in the device we saw earlier. There was a major discrepancy. One of the ropes is missing. You're right. You know, another thing that kind of gave me a hint was like, well, I examined the rope afterwards, and it was like, there's a contradiction here. Like, they literally just pointed it out. The other 2 things, the pulleys and the weight, apparently I'd already examined those because they let me skip by those, but they wouldn't let me skip the rope. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'll read this. So I read it, and I'm like, yep, okay, contradiction there. So it has something to do with the rope. Good to know that. But again, thought I already tried it. Oh well. You're right! Without it, the device won't work. I wonder what happened to it. Where did the missing rope disappear to? It's possible that we hold the piece of evidence that shows where the rope went. Yes. That'd be correct. That would be correct. Now, I'm pretty sure I probably presented the rope to that. Probably. But, my goodness, I swear. Eh? Which piece of evidence shows where the missing rope went? Take that! The rope we found with a dead body. Ah, could it be? Yes, it could be the other piece of rope that was used here. Then does that mean... This rope was attached to the weight. However, the weight was not one of these metal weights. These weights were hidden in the grass and replaced with something else. They were replaced, and what was used as the weight? What was tied to the rope we found in the workroom? If you can recall that, then the answer should be clear. The weight that was dropped in place of the weights that Mr. Keyes was prepared was, I would assume, well, not the crime scene notes, but I would assume the body was. Yes, well, I'm going to present that anyway, because reasons. What dropped down the well was none other than Knightley's dead body. Eh? Mr. Knightley's body was used as the weight? Yes, the weights were replaced with Knightley's body. Mr. Keyes used the device to launch himself off the stage. When the rope that was tied to him was undone and let go. Both the body and the rope dropped down the well. The rope wasn't used to tie up Knightley. It was used to suspend him inside the well. That also explains why the other weights were hidden. Ah, so that no one would find out that the weights were replaced with the body. Yes, the killer was the one who hid those weights. But Miles, wasn't Knightley boy stabbed in the neck with the murder weapon? If he was suspended in the well, wouldn't there be blood at the bottom of the well? The killer was also aware of that. That's why they used this item. Which item did the killer use in order to leave no traces of blood behind? Take that! The sheet we found near the body. It was used to wrap up the body. I see. It looks like all the pieces are starting to come together, eh? But this means that the body definitely came from the well. If that's the case, wouldn't that mean Simon is the killer? No, that's not necessarily the case. Eh? But yesterday Judge Courtney said... If Mr. Keyes was the killer, would he have needed to set up such an elaborate device? I guess you have a point. Mr. Keyes was only responsible for dropping the body during the show. In other words, it doesn't matter where the real killer was or what they were doing during the show. Until now, this placed the doubt on the people who did not watch the animal show. It's true. We also suspected Mr. Dogan. The killer's true intent was to make us think that the murder occurred during the show. In other words, they used a device on the well to create a fake alibi. Mrs. Berry, do you know when this device on the well was set up?
Let me think. Day before the show, I think it was at night. We all started preparing at 9 p.m. Finish at around midnight.
The killer replaced the weights with the dead body afterwards. Weights switched with the body. The device was set up with the body on the night before the show. Simon's device data updated my organizer. Simon used this for the big stunt during the show. Someone switched the weights with the body. Did Dogen know about the device? No. Even if he knew about the device, it wouldn't be possible for him to use it. You can't teach a dog to suspend the body in a well. In other words, Dogen is not the killer. It's true, he is not the killer, and he's not the killer either. But, anyway, I'm assuming that means that we probably have to... What? Someone... That can't be right, can it? So now what? Do I? But that can't be. Should I just go out on a whim and be like... Oh, shoot. Because of the game over, I have to freaking... No! Gumshoe! Don't talk about invisible people! I completely forgot about that. Aww. You know, I want to go back to that thing. You can't be serious just now. But I am serious, Mr. Edgeworth. I don't want to be with Mr. the Best, sir. Please don't do this to me. Alright. I'm gonna go back over here real quick. I already checked this area. Okay, cool. So, you got anything to add? Oh, I guess I examined her thing, apparently. Who would have guessed? That's cool. Mr. Ray, what do you got? Okay. You know what? I might get a penalty here. It might count as a mistake, but I'm just gonna freaking do it. Let's just see what happens. I don't even know how this is connected if it is, but okay, it's connected, so that's cool. I guess what else did I have to really do? But it's like I don't see the connection between these two. This cart was moved the night before the show. The body was also switched the night before the show. I don't think it was just a coincidence. Keeping that in mind, the question now becomes, how was it moved before the show? Why was the cart moved before the show? The cart used to be in front of the door before the show. I can think of one reason why. Somebody opened that door before the show! Alright, let's hurry up and... The door's locked! Let's ask a guard. Hey, Mr. Guard! Oh, convenient for him to be right there, huh? Yes, what is it? That was fast. You there, where's the key to this door? The warden's in charge of it. I'll get it from her right away. The warden is in charge of the keys here. Without the warden's permission, this door can't be opened. Thank you very much. High voltage electricity, courtyard, security cameras. Sensor A, that music though. Sensor A, Sensor B, and I assume Sensor C? There's a circuit breaker panel. This must be the breaker room. On the night before the show, somebody came into this room. I wonder why they would come here. I don't think anyone would confuse the breaker room with the break room. It was definitely to operate the circuit breakers. So someone came here to shut off the power to something? Was there anything that had its power shut off? What could have had its power shut off by the breaker? Well, that... The security camera footage had a 3-hour gap. I was honestly thinking about selecting the freaking metal detector, but then I'm like, wait, no, the camera went off, though. We've heard testimony about that, too. The security camera footage had a 3-hour gap. Ah, I see. The circuit breaker for the security camera was tripped. It's highly possible. Was this the killer's handiwork? With the camera down, it'd be easier to move about. The killer would have a major advantage. I knew it! If that's the case, the killer was the person who tripped the breaker. The person in charge of the key to the breaker room is... It couldn't be. Well... I'd like to say I'm surprised, but I kind of am not because of a certain comment I got. I'm sorry, but I have to call you out. Sort of, I mean, I don't know. I actually don't remember who left the comment, but you who left the comment who said a thing about the warden, you know, I don't know. It was a comment like, oh, you're gonna be able to see what's under her jacket at some point. You just know it's gonna happen. So, implying like they know that's gonna happen. So it's like, yes. Well, why else would the jacket be coming off? Unless they're the killer! Ah! But seriously, I don't know. It's kind of what I was thinking right there as soon as that happened. I'm like, why would that happen? Maybe some major evidence against them. Ooh, spooky, isn't it? I bet it is. I bet it is. So you can make a data down in my organizer. Yes, no, I'm just kidding. Found in the breaker room at the prison courtyard. Was it used on the night before the body was found? Well, either way, it looks like Patricia Rowland is now the #1 suspect at this point. It's not just because of that comment I read, it's because of actual evidence now. Deactivating the recreation. Alright, good for you, Kay. Deactivate that recreation. Investigation complete. Oh yeah, we got that bar back finally, at long last. Oh, hi there, you two. What are you doing here? I'm first in the scene, as always. Good morning, Mr. The Best. What? You? How did you get here before me? Greetings, Prosecutor Edgeworth. I see you have arrived early. Or maybe it is you who are late, Judge Courtney. I have many matters which require my attention. I have no time to waste. Unlike a certain prosecutor who was taken off the case. Grr. Oh, my apologies. I had forgotten that you were assisting the defense attorney. An assistant can never be the best. You've fallen like the rest. You just say whatever you like, don't you? I mean, don't we all? Isn't it fun to say what we like? Let us begin our examination of the courtyard, Sebastian. Alright, I'll call the men over. Hold it! That will be unnecessary. What? We have already finished the investigation of the courtyard. You've been bested. Bested? Me? Judge Courtney. I'm thinking. Your reasoning from yesterday. Watch me shatter it to pieces. ... I would advise you to choose your words more carefully. Have you forgotten that the fate of your badge rests in my hands? I literally don't care. I have had enough of such coercion. Can't you think of some other way to threaten me that does not involve my badge? Despite my repeated warnings, you show no signs of reflection. It seems I must remind you once more. The Prosecutorial Investigation Committee can't leave someone such as yourself unchecked. Objection! Neither the fate of my badge nor the actions of the committee will impede my progress. Proving Mr. Key's innocence, that is all that concerns me. Your words are like those of a defense attorney. If you are willing to go that far, then I will show no leniency. In the name of the goddess of law, I shall turn your words against you. And at that moment, you will forfeit the title of a prosecutor. You shall regret this. Yeah, we'll see about that. We'll see. Judge Courtney's reasoning. I shared my reasoning with you the day before. Since Mr. Elbert did not see the body when he passed through the tunnel, it could only have been dropped down the well during the show. The only one who could have performed such an act is a suspect. Excuse me. Naturally, you have evidence to support your reasoning. Of course she does. Who do you think she is? Earlier, I received the official autopsy report. Babysitting that kid must be difficult. The time of death was the night before the body was discovered. In other words, the day before the show. The cause of death remains unchanged, a stab wound 4 inches deep. Autopsy reports updated my organizer. Time of death sometime from 3 AM to 6 AM. on March 27th died instantly from a stab to the neck?
Simon Keyes was not present on the stage for the period of 15 minutes. There was sufficient time for him to drop the body down the well.
She has not investigated the courtyard yet. That means... It seems there is a hole in your argument.
You seem quite confident. Can you present evidence to support your claim?
Of course I can, and I will. Do it, Edgeworth, do it. Rebuttal. Judge Courtney's reasoning.
I shared my reasoning with you the day before.
So Mr. Oh, wait. Okay. Brain fart! Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness! Why would you brain the fart? Why would you fart the brain? Don't fart the brain. I wouldn't recommend that. That's kind of disgusting, really, when you think about it. Don't do it. I swear. Alrighty then. I shared my reasoning with you the day before. Heard it! So you continue to believe Mr. Keyes is the murderer.
Just as you continue to speak as if he is not. Do you have any decisive evidence? Do you know the identity of the true criminal?
You do realize you need proper evidence too.
I am a representative of the goddess of law. My words are her holy orders. Indeed, if I state something is black, it is black. If I state something is white, it is white.
So what would you call gray?
If you wish to disprove my words, and present your evidence at once.
Excuse me.
If Mr. Edgeworth did not see the body when he passed through the tunnel, it could not only have been dropped down the well during the show.
Wait. Why am I having so many brain farts right now? Good lord. Couldn't it be possible that Edgeworth just failed to notice the body?
Mr. Assistant's assistant, did you also enter the hole?
Huh? How do you know?
I noticed that there was some mud stuck on your lovely hair ornament yesterday.
That's amazing! Your powers of observation! But you can put a great deed to shame!
In the name of the goddess of law, answer me truthfully. If there were a dead body in that tunnel, would it have escaped your notice?
Well, the thing is, yeah, I think I would have noticed something like that.
Do you understand now? Mr. Edgeworth did not see the body. It could only have been dropped down the well during the show.
The body was dropped down the well during the show? I'd like to hear your reasoning for this.
The day before the show, Mr. Edgeworth lent the key to Mr. Knightley.
The key to Knightley's cell, huh?
Mr. Knightley escaped from his cell with the key and entered the cage Mr. Keyes had prepared. Mr. Keyes had moved the cage to the courtyard and proceeded to murder Mr. Knightley. The next day, when Mr. Edgeworth passed through the tunnel, he did not come across the body.
Please wait a minute, that doesn't seem right at all. Wasn't there a sweet smell in the tunnel? Mr. Knightley must have passed through it.
Mr. Knightley passed through the tunnel after Mr. Edgeworth did. Mr. Edgeworth passed through the tunnel at the start of the show. However, the body wasn't found until the end of the show.
Which is why you believe the body was dropped during the show.
Yes, and there was only one person who could have carried out this act. The only person who could have performed such an act is the suspect.
There was no one else who could have committed the murder.
I heard that I'm very tired. I heard that Miss Berry was present on the stage at all times. A great number of the prisoners were also watching the show. Even the prisoners who did not see it have sufficient alibis.
How about the guards?
Along with the warden, nearly everyone was watching the show.
But there must have been a chance for even one of them to approach the well.
During the show, none of the guards left their posts. That much is certain. They all testified as such.
She's left no room for oversight.
Do you finally admit that only Simon Keyes could have been the criminal?
Judge Courtney has not thoroughly examined the courtyard like we have. So there's a bit of a gap in her argument, right? I should review the evidence we obtained in the courtyard. Shared my reasoning with you the day before. Okay, well that's not anything they'll go for. So Miss Edgeworth did not see the body when he passed through the tunnel.
It could only have been dropped down the well during the show. No one could have performed such an act as a suspect.
Well, Simon used this for the big stunt during the show. Someone switched the weights with the body. I'm kind of just assuming that one. Objection! And that would be correct! Unfortunately for you, Judge Courtney, your argument doesn't hold any water. Just like the well. There was a device set up around the well here.
What is this device of which you speak of?
Are you aware of the stunt in which Mr. Keys is blown away by the elephant during the show?
I have heard of it. It would have been right before he exits the stage.
He tied one end of a length of rope to himself and the other end to a set of weights. He was able to perform the stunt by dropping these weights down the well.
Wouldn't he have spent the whole place suspended up in the air?
That's why he had a stopper attached to the weighted end. The stopper was removed by pulling another rope. Around the well, we found evidence that the weights were switched with the victim's body. This was done by the real killer in order to shift the suspicion away from them. ... Judging from the time of death, the murder was carried out in the early morning of the show. The true criminal had until the time the show started to set up the device.
But didn't Simon Keys make that thing? And since he was also the one who used it, he is the best suspect. Don't you agree?
Objection! If Mr. Keys were the murderer, he would not have needed to do that. Miss Berry.
Yes?
Was there anyone else who knew of the device he set up?
Well, let me see. Since we had to get everything about our show approved by the people here at the prison, I'd say there were others who knew about it.
And there you have it.
I see. You've indeed performed a thorough investigation, which is why I'm even further perplexed. Why do you not use your efforts for justice?
My actions are not just. Are you an idiot? Who made that decision?
You cannot understand even that, even now. Providing support to a defense attorney despite being a prosecutor. It is quite unnatural. This goes against the rules.
I am merely choosing to do what I think is right at this particular time. I travel down the road I have chosen. Your comprehension does not matter in the least. However, if anyone intends to interfere, I will show no mercy.
Perhaps this is a calling from the goddess of law. If you intend to rebel against her divine will, I will have no choice but to hand down my verdict. Pay heed to my words. I have one more reason to suspect Simon Keys of murder.
Again, you're suspecting him without reason. I mean, okay, never mind. It's not, you know, it literally says reason for suspicion, but still, your reason's not just. What is wrong with you? Reason for suspicion.
If the body came from the courtyard, how was Mr. Knightley brought here from the detention center? Only Simon Keys could have provided such an opportunity. Because of this fact, I find it most difficult to suspect any other party of this crime. While Simon Keys was moving supplies for the show, he visited Mr. Knightley's cell. Does that not strike you as odd? Why else would he have brought a large covered cage with him? Oh, that does seem pretty suspicious.
Mr. Keys was merely that kind of person. It is entirely possible that he carelessly brought it here. There.
If that is possible, then it is also possible that he was assisting in the escape. Am I wrong?
I suppose I must refute her theory with evidence. Rebuttal. Reason for the suspicion. What is the suspicion of the reasoning? I wonder. I don't know. It could be things. It might not be things. It might be a lot of things, actually. But what do you know? I don't know anything. Things. The imprisoned turnabout. End. Part 2. I agree. That is end part 2. A few too many ends, in fact.
As the body came from the courtyard.
Hold it! You seem to believe that Knightley was killed in the courtyard. So can you say when he was brought here?
On the day of the show, between midnight and 8 a.m. I am positive it could only have been during that time.
So after rehearsal had ended and before the show began.
The most pressing issue is... how was Mr. Knightley brought here from the detention center?
Are you certain there were no other routes?
A trial date had not yet been determined for Mr. Knightley. Since he was not the prisoner, he could not have easily entered the prison. He would have stood out too much.
Meaning no one testified seeing him there.
Well done. May he be blessed by the goddess of law. As I said, Mr. Knightley was taken into the prison through the less conspicuous manner. Only Simon Keyes could have provided such an opportunity.
Are you certain that he was the only person who had the opportunity?
Have you forgotten? This is a prison. Due to constant supervision, it would be impossible to do anything unusual.
Then wouldn't it be the same for Mr. Keyes?
The warden has shown favor to the Berry Big Circus. Simon Keyes is a circus member. Miss Berry's apprentice, no less. It could only have been him. He was able to move about freely within the facility.
It seems that you forgot to mention that.
The word forgot does not exist in my dictionary.
Then it would be prudent for you to add this to your argument. Mr. Keyes may have been the only person who could move around freely in the prison. But on the day of the murder, there was a gap in time missing from the surveillance records. During that time, anyone could have done as they pleased. Do I have proof of this gap in the surveillance records? I'm just supposed to straight up present? Well, gap in surveillance records, yes. The gap in surveillance records is, well, this, but we also have this. I don't reckon it was using that. This technically isn't proof that it was used, so I mean this. Naturally, of course. Mr. Keyes wasn't the only one who had the opportunity. Who else could have had the opportunity? The timestamp on the security camera is off by 3 hours. This means there was a 3-hour gap in time. During that time, anyone could have done it.
If that were the case, then the murderer would have created the gap in time intentionally. It would not have been a simple camera failure. Are you saying that is possible?
It's possible if you had access to this. That! Circuit breakers! In this courtyard we found the circuit breaker for the security camera. And it was possible to access the breaker room both before and after the murder. What? Well, Sebastian is in the middle of his freakouts once again, it seems.
Unfortunately, it appears that you have fallen short of your intentions. Mr. Edgeworth hasn't fallen short of anything! So can you explain how the murderer obtained the key to the breaker room?
Oh yeah, that's right, it was locked, wasn't it? The warden hangs on to the key, right?
The breaker room has great importance even in a prison. There was no one who would be able to obtain the key so easily.
Objection!
Except the warden herself, obviously. Well, I can think of someone.
What did you say?
This person, the murderer, was able to get the key. They didn't even need to steal it.
There can't be anyone like that. Besides, the breaker room to the electrified fence is in that room too.
Only one person could have done this. I didn't want to believe it myself, but I trust that my logic is sound. So, just like Ace Attorney Investigations 1, it's gonna be the weird freaking crazy woman that's gonna be the murderer to case 2. Alright, sure, whatever. The murderer is... Missile! I'm just kidding, I don't know. Warden Roland. She coincidentally walks in right as we're saying that, huh?
Oh my, what a nice dirty little puppy.
It's because this dog is extremely fond of sweets. It seems to detect a sweet scent on you.
Oh, heavens no! I'm not even wearing perfume or anything of the sort.
What the dog detects is the sweet scent of death.
How poetic! However, does not simply imply that I committed murder.
That's what I think.
What? The warden is the murderer? Mr. Edgeworth, are you serious about your statement? Oh, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! How amusing! The very thought of a warden committing a murder!
I'm sure it's happened in recorded history somewhere. Sometime. At just some point. Like, who really knows? I don't know. I'm sure it's happened, though.
It sounds like something out of a mystery novel. Precisely. The reasoning is in contempt.
Hold it!
Nothing of the sort. I did not want to believe it myself, but based on the evidence, I have no choice but to believe it. This evidence proves that Warden Roland is the murderer. What? But what? But, huh? I don't know. Let's see. No, seriously, what? Wait. Mr. DeVest and Warden Roland searched the entire prison but did not find the murder weapon. Well, I suppose that's an option. I suppose. No, seriously, what? What is it? You know what? I kind of want to say it, actually. Kind of want to say it. Prison investigation. Well, she was part of it, so I mean, I don't know. This proves you were the murderer. I mean, obviously she was leading the investigation, so therefore that's why they didn't find the murder weapon.
Treating me like a criminal just because of that is so cruel. That doesn't even have anything to do with me.
I mean, technically that's a lie, but okay, sure. No, that wasn't it. Bristle's reaction to Warden Roland earlier. What was the cause of it? I need to let that guide me to the answer.
I suppose the accusation was nothing more than a joke in poor taste after all.
No, it was not, Warden Roland. You were the murderer.
Then why don't you show us the evidence?
So you're trying to say that missiles are connected to it, so therefore I should do the crime scene notes with the sweet smell and junk like that, right? Okay. Well, thank you for hints. I'm so glad about that. The smell gave you away. And that's very true. As you can plainly see, someone has taken notice.
This police dog.
He tracked the sweet smell that came from the body. And right now he is telling us that the same scent is also on Warden Roland.
Ho ho ho! You're a cruel one to accuse me of a murder based on something like that. Right, Justine, darling?
Oh my gosh, it seems she has doubts. She might actually be having doubts. And in the next exciting episode, everyone, we're going to see just how deep her doubts are going. Or if she's going to keep showing resolve. If she keeps showing resolve, well, we make her crack, finally, at long last, and be like, oh my god, Miles Edgeworth was correct. He was right. Oh, it is. The goddess of law has let me down. Oh. Well, that's probably what's going to happen. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know what's going to happen. But either way, next episode, we're going to find out what happened. So, see you later, everyone. Next time is going to be a... I can't think. I'm too tired.